She is, of course, the Republican from the state of Georgia, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Congresswoman, thanks for being back with us here on the Hill.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So is this the moment that maybe brings both sides to a deal? Like there have been a lot of these, right? Well, the troops get paid, federal workers missing their paychecks, SNAP benefits. We've heard them and we've rolled through them one by one. Now there's this. Is this the moment that gets to a deal or no?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I personally think the political drama has been a lot for people. And I think we saw that play out yesterday in the elections. I think leadership is something to take very seriously. And I think the Senate, both sides of the aisle, need to get on the ball on that, because people are suffering, people are not getting paid, and people have a lot of anxiety about what does this mean going forward.
Should Trump pick up the phone now and say, Speaker Johnson, Chuck Schumer, let's get in a room, let's do it, let's end it now?
I hope so. I would like to see that. But I've been saying all along, even a month ago, I said Democrats can open the government simply by voting yes on the CR that they have already voted to so many times. But also Senate Republicans can use the nuclear option, override the filibuster.
You think they should go there?
Yeah, I've been calling for it the entire time. I called for it a month ago. 1 month ago, I called for it. I posted it up. But it's been gridlock. And you want to know something? I really fully believe Americans are sick and tired of political drama in Washington. They care about being able to pay their bills. They're very worried about health insurance premiums rising. And it's up to leaders in Washington to take that very seriously.
So I want to get to that. Let's actually, I want to play a clip. You posted this on your social media feed a couple days ago about what happened to you in relation to health care. Let's roll it real quick.
Marjorie, get us some health care that's affordable.
We're trying.
Try harder.
What do you think about that?
I don't think she knows how hard I'm trying.
Yeah, we're the only ones standing up for health care.
I agree with her.
You were just telling me that came out of the blue. President Trump last night, or this morning, excuse me, basically blamed in part the shutdown for Democrats' Democrats' wins last night, excuse me. Is it that, or do you believe that the president is simply not seeing what's happening out there with prices, with bills, and with healthcare affordability?
Well, I posted earlier that I believe the election yesterday was a referendum on not delivering what November 2024 was about. It was about America first, it was about MAHA, and it was about cost of living and putting Americans' issues above everything else. And that has not been the focus for months now. And I have been talking about it. I have been pressing these issues. These are the issues I hear about back home in my district, and those are the only people I work for. And I think yesterday, a lot of people stayed home because they're not happy.
The focus it's not been the focus for who? For President Trump, for the Republican Party, members of Congress, Senate, who?
Across the board, across the board. When we said no more foreign wars, we meant it, and that meant don't send our money and our weapons. That didn't mean go all over the world talking to all the foreign countries. When we said put America first, that means Congress needs to get on the ball and be serious about our appropriations. That's how money comes back to our district and helps our districts. When we talk about MAHA, we're very serious about don't force on COVID vaccines, don't force on chemicals. All of these things are extremely important to us, but we saw Pfizer be embraced in the White House. We've seen another mRNA COVID vaccine get approved. These are issues that really matter to people, and they're very angry about. Think about it. People didn't want to vote for Andrew Cuomo in the mayor's race because they're still mad about him killing elderly people in nursing homes.
That race was a little closer than people thought last night, but either way, Mamdani winning. Let me take you to the House and to 2026. Do you believe now that Democrats have the upper hand in 2026? It's the slightest margin in modern political history.
Yeah. Well, historically, the majority party always loses in the midterms. The only time the majority party didn't was after 9/11. So historically, you would say, okay, Democrats have the upper hand going into this, but Republicans would be the ones handing Democrats the victory by not passing our agenda. And the fact that the House has been closed for 6 weeks now is a complete and total, utter failure. And that's on the Speaker of the House. While the rest of America is going to work every single day, you're going to work, people in this building are going to work. Mike Johnson is telling us to stay home and not do our jobs.
So what does Mike Johnson, like if you were to be able to talk to Mike Johnson right now, you would tell him what?
Tell him the same thing I told him last week, and I yelled at him on the phone on our GOP conference call.
What'd you say?
Where is our health care plan? It's non-existent. Democrats created this problem years ago, but Republicans have never fixed it. And I said we need to be back at work, and not being in session is basically pathetic.
What did he say to you?
He gave me the same talking points he gives to the press every single day.
How many Republicans do you know of privately who tell you that they think you are right and that the Obamacare subsidies should be extended in some form or another?
I get the text messages every single day that we have got to do something to make health insurance more affordable.
Like, is it dozens of Republicans? Like how big? I'm trying to get a sense of how big.
So my mixture of circle of friends and people I talk to are regular people, and they're back home in Georgia. They're friends, family, and people in my district. They are appalled and outraged, and they're sending me, oh, my health insurance is going to go from $800 a month, and it's going up to $3,200 a month. These are the messages, but we're getting the phone calls coming in. But I even have colleagues texting me now, you're right, we've got to do something about this.
Let me turn your attention to 2028. There's a report out from Notice today saying that you want to run for president, that you're, quote, telling people that you want to run for president in 2028. Is that the case?
You know, I actually blocked that reporter.
Okay.
Because he published an article that is baseless rumors, which is along the same lines that Laura Loomer spread. She said last week that I was going to announce I was running for governor on The View this week, and this is another baseless rumor. The only thing that I'm focused on is being a representative for my district.
So what's your end game? Is it staying in the House?
I'm a representative for Georgia 14, and I think that we need to be doing our job right now.
Let me leave you with this. Here was Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just the other day, and then I'll get your response.
Here's some tea for you. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. Trump said no. And the White House and Trump land shut down Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal ambitions to run for Senate. And she has been on a revenge tour ever since.
What would you say to her? She says you're on a revenge tour right now.
It sounds like she's best friends with Laura Loomer, too, because that's the same thing Laura Loomer said, but it's not true. I put out a lengthy post back this summer about why I didn't want to run for Senate, and I see the Senate is basically where all good things go to die. I mean, look at the Senate right now. Because of the Senate, the gridlock in the Senate where no one can get anything accomplished, the government is shut down. And I'm a very serious person. I don't want to go serve somewhere where all of my good ideas and bills I want to work on get completely stopped in a system that I think is utter failure, and I explained that in length. The other problem with AOC is I think she's really jealous that I came into her home state, stomped around, and actually had a great conversation with the ladies on The View.
What was that like?
It was wonderful.
What do you think about the pushback on that?
I honestly, I've only seen a little pushback online, but I've gotten calls in my office. People loved it from my district. I got all these text messages from my friends and family, and they loved it. And I think it's good to have conversations with the other side and have respectful conversations. People, like when I say people are sick and tired of political drama, they are fed up with it. And they're tired of the toxic culture that we have. People are tired of lies like that article you brought up, tired of stupid attacks like AOC's video. I don't respect her very much. She's never accomplished anything in life other than being a member of Congress. So I don't really know what she has to offer other than gossip, but people are tired of that.
All right. We'll leave it there. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene with us tonight here on The Hill. Thanks for coming back in. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.